Hello, English learners from every corner of this amazing globe. Welcome back to English Academy, the place where learning English is actually genuinely fun. I'm your host, Chloe.
And I'm Liam. It's so good to be back with all of you. We've got a fantastic hour packed with insights, laughs, and of course, some absolutely essential vocabulary that you'll be using in no time.
That's right. Today, we're not just learning words. We're giving you the tools to express yourselves, to connect, and to truly feel the rhythm of the English language. We're going to dive deep, but don't worry, we'll keep it light and breezy.
Exactly. And as promised, we've got our 5 daily words ready to roll, and Chloe and I will be putting each other on the spot to make sure we truly dissect them for you. It's going to be a blast.
Get ready to expand your vocabulary and maybe even discover a new favorite word. But before we jump into our linguistic adventures, let's hear from some of our amazing listeners.
You know, Chloe, we get so many incredible messages from people just starting their English journey, and also from those who are quite advanced but want to polish their skills. It's truly inspiring.
Absolutely. It makes all the late-night script writing worth it. We had a lovely message this week from Maria in Brazil, who said, English Academy has made me feel so much more confident. I used to be shy about speaking, but now I'm starting to enjoy it.
That's amazing, Maria. That's exactly why we do this. And then we had Kenji from Japan ask, what's the best way to remember new words? Kenji, that's a fantastic question, and actually it ties perfectly into what we're doing today. Repetition, context, and using them in your own sentences are key.
Speaking of which, Liam, are you ready for our first daily word? Teasing tone, of course.
I think I hear the vocabulary spotlight music in my head. Lay it on me, Chloe. I'm ready.
Our first word today, something I think we all experience at some point, is serendipity.
Serendipity. Ooh, that's a beautiful word.
Isn't it? So, Liam, if you had to explain serendipity to our listeners, how would you put it?
Okay. Serendipity is finding something good or valuable when you weren't specifically looking for it. It's like a happy accident, a fortunate discovery that happens by chance. It has a lovely, almost magical feeling to it.
Perfect. Can you give us an example, Liam? Something from your life, maybe?
Let me think. Oh, yes. A few years ago, I was looking for a specific vintage book in a small, dusty bookstore. I didn't find the book I was looking for, but purely by serendipity, I stumbled upon an incredibly rare first edition of a different author I loved for next to nothing. It was pure serendipity.
That's a fantastic example. So it's not just luck, it's a pleasant discovery by chance. It has a positive connotation. Like if you lose your keys and then accidentally find a $20 bill, that's a little bit of serendipity.
Exactly. It's the joy of the unexpected positive outcome. So everyone, try to think of a moment of serendipity in your own life.
That's a wonderful start to our vocabulary journey. Now let's shift gears a little bit. We often talk about the power of positive thinking, but what about the power of positive language?
Absolutely, Chloe. The words we choose can profoundly impact how we feel, how others perceive us, and even how we approach challenges. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it, and the emotional weight of your vocabulary.
Right. For example, instead of saying, "This is so hard, I'll never get it," you could say, "This is challenging, but I'm determined to learn it." The change in tone and word choice completely shifts the energy.
And that brings us to our next word. Chloe, are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Bring it on, Liam. My brain is tingling with anticipation.
Our second word for today is resilience.
Resilience. Ooh, I love this word. It's so powerful.
Indeed. So, Chloe, how would you define resilience for our English Academy listeners?
Confidently, resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties, setbacks, or misfortunes. It's about bouncing back, adapting, and growing stronger after facing a challenge. It's not about never falling down, but about getting back up.
That's excellent. Can you give us a real-world example of resilience?
Absolutely. Think about a young child learning to walk. They fall down hundreds of times, right? But they don't give up. They keep trying. They keep pushing themselves until they're running. That's incredible resilience. Or, for our listeners learning English, when you make a mistake, you don't stop. You learn from it, you correct yourself, and you keep practicing. That's displaying resilience in your learning journey.
That's a perfect example, Chloe. Learning a language definitely requires a lot of resilience. It's about persistence and grit. So when you face a challenge in your English studies, remember to activate your resilience.
2 words down, and we're already feeling more empowered. Now, Liam, let's talk a bit about cultural nuances in English. Sometimes a word or phrase can have a slightly different feel depending on the context or even the region.
That's a fantastic point, Chloe. English is a global language, but it has so many regional flavors. What's perfectly polite in one country might be a bit too direct in another. It's all about understanding the subtle signals.
Exactly. And that leads us beautifully to our third word, which helps us describe those subtle differences. Liam, your turn.
I'm ready.
Confident. Our third word is nuance.
Nuance. Very sophisticated word.
It is. So, Liam, how would you explain nuance to our global audience?
Carefully. Nuance refers to a subtle difference in meaning, expression, sound, or feeling. It's those tiny, sometimes almost imperceptible distinctions that can change the entire meaning or tone of something. It's what separates good communication from truly great, precise communication.
Spot on. Can you provide an example?
Definitely. Think about the words happy and joyful. They both express positive emotion, but there's a nuance between them. Happy can be a general everyday feeling, whereas joyful often implies a deeper, more profound, perhaps even ecstatic happiness. Or think about body language. A slight change in facial expression can convey a completely different nuance to your words.
That's so true. In language learning, understanding the nuances of words like small, tiny, and minuscule can really elevate your descriptive abilities. They all mean not large, but they carry different shades of meaning. So pay attention to the little details, everyone. Those are the nuances.
Wonderful. We're building quite the vocabulary toolkit today. And speaking of tools, sometimes when we're learning, we can feel a bit overwhelmed, right, Chloe?
Oh, absolutely, Liam. There are days when I just think, how am I ever going to grasp all of this? Like trying to drink from a fire hose.
A perfect analogy. And when you feel that way, it's important to remember that progress isn't always linear. There are ups and downs. And that brings us to our fourth word, something we often need to do. Chloe, take it away.
My turn. Okay. For our fourth word, something we all need in our busy lives, especially when learning a new skill, is patience.
Patience. A virtue indeed.
So, Liam, explain patience for us and try to embody the word as you do.
Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. It's about enduring calmly, especially when faced with difficulty or a slow process. It's understanding that some things take time and that rushing often leads to more frustration.
Beautifully put. Now, give us an example where patience is absolutely essential.
Learning a musical instrument requires immense patience. You don't pick up a guitar and play a concerto overnight. You have to practice scales, make mistakes, endure sore fingers, and slowly, bit by bit, improve. The same goes for learning a new language. You won't be fluent in a month. It takes consistent effort and a lot of patience to see significant progress.
That's so true. And I think for our listeners, it's crucial to remember that learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't get discouraged if you don't understand everything immediately. Have patience with yourself, celebrate the small victories, and keep going.
We're on fire today, Chloe. 4 powerful words down. Are you ready for our grand finale word?
Absolutely, Liam. My brain is feeling stretched in the best way possible. What have you got for us?
Our 5th and final word for today, one that connects to our global audience and the essence of communication, is empathy.
Empathy. Oof, what a truly important word, especially now.
Indeed. Chloe, how would you define empathy?
Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It's not just sympathy, which is feeling sorry for someone. Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes, genuinely trying to feel what they're feeling and understanding their perspective. It's about deep connection and understanding.
Excellent distinction. Can you give us an example of empathy in action?
Of course. Imagine your friend is having a really bad day. Maybe they failed an important test. If you show empathy, you don't just say, "Oh, that's too bad." You might say, "I can imagine how disappointed you must feel right now. That sounds really tough." You're acknowledging their pain and showing that you truly understand their emotional state. In communication, practicing empathy means really listening to someone, trying to grasp not just their words, but the emotions behind them.
That's a beautiful explanation, Chloe. And I think that's a key takeaway for all of our listeners. Whether you're speaking English or your native language, practicing empathy in your conversations will make you a better communicator and, frankly, a better human being.
Wow, Liam, what a fantastic set of words today. Serendipity, resilience, nuance, patience, and empathy. I feel like we've covered so much emotional and intellectual ground.
We really have. And remember, everyone, the best way to master these words is to start using them. Try incorporating them into your daily conversations. Write them down, or even just think about them when you're reading or listening to English.
Absolutely. The more you interact with new vocabulary, the more naturally it will become part of your own language. Don't be afraid to experiment.
And speaking of interacting, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these words resonated most with you today? Have you experienced any serendipity recently? How do you practice resilience in your life? Let us know on our social media channels. Find us on Instagram and Twitter at English Academy Pod.
Yes, your feedback and stories are what keep us going and inspire new episodes. We're truly grateful for this global community we're building.
Before we wrap up, Chloe, what's one piece of advice you would give to someone feeling a bit stuck in their English learning journey right now?
I would say don't focus on perfection, focus on progress. Every single word you learn, every sentence you form, every time you understand something new, that's progress. Celebrate those small victories. And remember, it's okay to have days where it feels hard. That's part of the process. Just keep showing up.
Excellent advice. And I'd add, find what makes learning fun for you. If you love movies, watch them with English subtitles. If you love music, listen to English songs and look up the lyrics. If you love podcasts, well, you're already doing it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much for joining us on this fun, emotional, and very word-rich episode of English Academy. We genuinely hope you feel more confident and inspired to continue your English journey.
We'll be back next week with more engaging content, more essential vocabulary, and of course, more fun. Until then, keep practicing, keep exploring, and keep believing in yourselves.
Bye, everyone. Stay curious.
See you next time.